Austin on the 40 acres. On campus grounds, we gather round. Discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they're the talk of the town. High castles of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories. From touchdowns to heartbreakers, we discuss it all. Texas Longhorns glory. There we gather round each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Harry, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams who might. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
Yo, we are late, but we are here, and that is my fault. I had to run to HEB so that my wife could cook his dinner. I had just a busy day at work. It was meetings all day. I had a presentation, so I had to take a nap after.
You're in and out. Nobody can hear you.
I had meetings all day, right, and then I had to do a presentation.
Okay.
And my brain was fried after that, so I did take myself a little nap. And I woke up a little late.
Of course. Don't you take a nap almost every day?
No, Tim.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. My bad.
Actually, yes, I do. But hey, regardless, we're here. We'll do a shorter show tonight because life is out there. But we did want to get out and talk about the state of Texas basketball.
Yep.
Men's and women's. This is looking at the basketball program as a whole. I mean, last week we talked about the piss stain that the men's basketball program was on the athletic program.
Yep.
But I want to dig into just Texas basketball in general.
Yep.
And then talk about the NFL Combine. That happened last week. 14 guys from the Texas program participated, and we'll talk about the results. But before we get there, Tim Wayne, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. Listen, the Combine, there were some standouts I definitely want to talk about. I thoroughly enjoyed the Combine from all aspects, from the O linemen. Some of these O linemen running sub 4.9s and one of them clocking a 4.8. Our Longhorns showed out pretty good, with the exception of Gunnar Helm. And I really hate that he had that significant injury. His ankle looked like you don't realize how much torque you put on your knees and joints and stuff until you tweak them. And man, his ankle looked terrible. But in all, I think he'll still have a good showing. He's got an opportunity to show off again with pro days, and pro days are vastly approaching. I believe there's been a couple of schools that have already had pro days. I think Colorado had their pro day earlier this week, if I'm not mistaken. And there's even more to come. So we'll get to see these guys participate in, some short t-shirt Olympics. But other than that, I'm ready to go, man. The weather's changed. It's still kind of cool in the morning, but for the most part, it's warm during the day, and that's great.
The time changes this weekend.
We get that extra hour, so you get that extra hour of sun. You get the barbecue. You can wait until it gets a little later in the day. Wait till it cool off a little bit, where it's not in the 90s, and then you get to throw something on the grill with your family or your significant other. And also it is South by season, so Austin is crazy right now.
Austin is popping. South by season. Yeah, I think film was this week.
Film started 2 days ago, so Tuesday.
Yep, next week is music.
Yep,
big one. Which here I thought I contemplated doing South by this year. And I went and looked at the lineup. Not impressed.
Not impressed, man.
It is not what it used to be.
It's not what it used to be. I mean,
there's just nobody popping off right now.
Music ain't what it used to be. Listen, I mean, the thing was about South by is you go in, you find an up and coming artist, right? Who knew that back in 2012? Where I'm showing my age right now, but back in 2012, I would go and see a Future, or 2013, I'd see a Rick Ross that was still very much like he wasn't at like he was a rising star, but he wasn't at superstar status.
Yep.
Then the next year, well, also that same year, Travis Scott, SZA. Like I saw Travis Scott and SZA. The next year, we see Drake. The year after that, like
We saw so many.
it's just so much, you know. I think I told one of my friends earlier this week, I got about one more South by in me to go really, really hard. And whenever it does happen, it's gonna be. I'm only going to go and participate if it's an all-star studded, guys, or all-star studded guys. Like again, I've named thousands of people that I've seen already. I've seen Kanye 4 times before he went crazy, Jay-Z 3 times, Beyonce, with the exception of maybe 2 concerts. The only other time that I've seen Beyonce, it's been free. Never had to pay for it.
Speaking of Beyonce, I don't know if you know this, but I'll be seeing Beyonce in LA this year.
Jesus, why LA? Why not here?
Somewhere different. Just a place to go to.
She doesn't perform.
Luka's going to be in the finals. And Nico Harrison didn't want to go, so he shipped him over to LA.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
hey man, shout out to my Mavericks fans, bro. Listen,
shout out to y'all going through it right now.
I've never seen a generational downfall as bad as the Mavericks.
This is one of the biggest. This is one of the biggest fumbles in probably the last. No, not sports history. Probably within the last 30 years.
What's a bigger fumble than trading away to generational talent for an already injured superstar that probably won't play?
The dumbest trade ever is the Raiders giving Tom Brady Randy Moss. That was stupid, and they gave it to him.
Well, Randy Moss wasn't entering his prime.
Randy, you could say that at the point
but Randy, he wasn't 25. He wasn't 25 entering.
Randy Moss was still in his 20s when he got traded to the Patriots. He was not old. He was still. That was what we failed to realize, is that we were watching a prime Randy Moss play for the Oakland Raiders, and they just sucked.
Well, he was already in his prime.
Yeah, he was in his prime.
He wasn't entering his prime.
Luka is in his prime.
No, he's not. Luka is entering his prime. He's not 25 yet. Luka's just now entering. I think he turned 25 like a week ago.
That's insane.
He's entering his prime.
Listen, I don't know.
And he's a generational talent. Like
I don't know what you do.
Regardless, I'm sad. I don't know. Generational fumble.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have your first round pick this year, which you have to tank to see what happens, right? Well, you don't have to tank. You suck.
Right.
Because all you're playing is role players, right?
Yeah, lost Kyrie. You lost Kyrie. We knew AD was always a problem.
The Kyrie thing.
AD shouldn't even come back. What he should do is he should just sit out and get healthy.
I don't think anybody's coming back. They were supposed to have evaluations this morning, and
Kyrie,
you know how much I cared about those evaluations.
He'll be out, but I think Kyrie will do whatever he can to come back early to start, because that's just the type of person he is. And I think, well, Luke is gone. AD, I don't know. I don't know what y'all do. The best thing for you to do is to tank right now, currently.
You don't have to try to. This team is just bad.
I mean, when 75% of your starting five is out, yeah.
They only have 7 guys that can play. You don't have to tank. You're just bad. Like, tanking would be like purposely losing. They're not tanking. They had no lineup.
That's unfortunate.
Like the same day Kyrie got hurt, Jaden Hardy, the fourth string point guard, also got hurt. The fourth string point guard got hurt.
Ooh.
So they're not like, yes, you'll call it tank because that's what it, I guess.
Right. Go call my boy Vince up. Like, hey Vince, you want to come out of retirement and come play with the Mavericks again?
Dude, they picked up Kai Jones, who, by the way, balled out his first game there. Right?
He did. He looked good.
And then he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Literally, the next game, he got hurt.
You know who they should call? LiAngelo Ball.
I actually thought of it. I was like, hey, maybe they should go. Maybe listen, they want to go try to get Kevin Durant. No.
Listen,
try to go get LaMelo Ball.
LiAngelo Ball might be. No, LaMelo. They're not. You're gonna have to give up the kitchen sink to get LaMelo.
Why not? I mean, you got no other choices.
Dude, listen. LiAngelo might have a smash single, but I was watching him practice online. He don't look. He's not out of shape. Kid's not out of shape. I don't know. Maybe anyway. Let's go on.
I don't care who they get, but we'll talk about off season. Kevin Durant could be a Maverick. We'll see. But I don't even that I don't think is worth it anymore because you won't get Kyrie back until February of next year, if that.
Yeah.
So is it even worth it? I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows?
But hey, let's talk about FanBattleSports.com. You know who's never injured? FanBattleSports.com. FanBattleSports.com, where you can get the latest and greatest from the AFC South. Monday, tampering starts. Legal tampering. So great opportunity for the Colts to not do anything for the 18th straight year. If you want to find out what we don't do, FanBattleSports.com, where you can find the latest and greatest from the Colts, the Texans, the Jaguars, who love to trade their best players within the division, and the Titans. FanBattleSports.com. All right, Tim. Follow us on Twitter at Longhorn Battle.
Yes, sir.
Almost at 3,000. Let's get it pumping. And of course, if you're here, like, comment, subscribe, show us some love. We are almost at 100 subscribers. Actually, I checked. We're at 71 subscribers. We lost a subscriber.
We lost
y'all
one.
are going the opposite direction. We need to go forward. We need to get to 100.
Forward.
Let's get forward.
Oh,
let's get to listen.
I'm gonna put an Elon.
Yeah, we don't need to go backward like the Jacksonville Jaguars. We need to go forward like Texas Longhorns.
We need to go up.
We got to go up.
Right.
So, help us get to 100 followers and further. Longhorn Fan Battle. And of course, you know what is going up, Tim? Our TikTok follower count. Almost at 1,000 followers. Great job to you for all the work you've done there.
Hey man, listen, it's not me, it's the community. We have people that engage with us and they follow us and they like our stuff. When we do put stuff out there, we try not to just put BS out there. We try to, make sure that whatever is put out there is quality. Got a couple updates that we do need to update with y'all. Of course, there's been some changes within the coaching realms. Texas has added on another piece to the coaching staff. So we'll pass out that information pretty soon here. And there's some other stuff that we're going to be covering here as well that I'll be updating you guys with. So if you guys don't necessarily get to catch us, which I hope you do, make sure y'all stay tuned to that TikTok account because everything as far as changes within the staff, rankings, recruiting, everything Texas Longhorn, whether it's football or volleyball, it don't matter. It's gonna be there. Basketball, we cover it all, like we said in the theme song. So yeah, just make sure you guys continue to follow us. We appreciate you, and yeah.
Yes, sir. Tim, look at this real quick.
What's up? Let me look.
The official is official now. Look at that beautiful banner by Dwayne Aquino. Officially
pass game coordinator and safeties coach. His
official title. Shout out to Chris Bennett. I don't know if Chris is out here. Chris kind of pops in from time to time. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
But shout out to also Dwayne King. Very, very excited to have him. All right, Tim, let's get right into it.
Yep.
NFL Combine. 14 guys participated.
Mhm.
Some guys looked really good.
Yeah.
Some guys didn't look so great.
No, there wasn't a lot
Some
though.
guys didn't fulfill promises that they tried to keep.
Right.
And then some guys, as we expected, soared. So, what are your overall thoughts on the Texas side of everything?
Listen, again, of course, like football is king, and anytime we have an opportunity to cover sports, whether it be like I said earlier, football, basketball, volleyball, it doesn't matter. We definitely want to cover it. But when it comes to football, that is what our expertise is. That's what we are strongest in. Man, to see so many Longhorns, and Harish, you can tell me how you feel about this as well. It gives you a sense of pride. It really does, again, give me that, like, I don't know, like it just felt good to see our guys out there who we've seen play, who we've invested time and hours and even built this whole platform off of those guys and what they're doing, their backs, and seeing them have an opportunity to participate has been really, really good. There's some standouts, some standouts that I want to point out. The obvious is Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden ran a 4.29.
Yeah,
Or 4.27. 4.27, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was 4.29.
It might be a 4.29. I get confused with the other guy from Kentucky.
Yeah, 4.29.
4.29. He ran a 4.29.
To the weekend.
That is very, very good. Matthew Golden has, from what I've been seeing, projection-wise, he has basically catapulted himself from late first round to possibly in the teens. So 13 and up. That I've seen different places. I've seen him with the Cowboys. I've seen him with the Colts. I've even seen him with the Buffalo Bills. I've seen him go as far as low as with the Chiefs. Like, they need another speedster, another young speedster on that team. They already got a stacked wide receiver core, but if they can save cap and remove some, shed some cap, save some money, and bring in a young guy, and he's a potential teammate, man, who doesn't want that? But yeah, I've seen a lot of things. One thing I was not proud of, but I'll still stand behind this. Kelvin Banks, the slide that he has had, I don't understand it. He is literally one of the best offensive tackles, if not the best offensive tackle in the country. He went from starting out, he was projected at a top 5 pick, and now he's still lottery, but the slide from top 3 to top 5 to now top 10, I don't necessarily understand that. He's literally only had one game where he was not that great, and that was the Georgia game. Nobody played that great. And at that second half, he bowed up, and he was actually one of the stronger pieces on that team in that first meeting. That second game, he was just fine. He played just fine. No issues at all. So again, it was great to see, but there were some guys that really stood out. Again, Matthew Golden stood out to me. Another guy that I wanted to bring up was my guy, defensive tackle,
Alfred Collins.
Alfred Collins. Looked great.
It was really good, man. Alfred
really,
Collins
really good. Looked so good. I was really happy to see him and what he was able to do. So again, shout out to those guys, man. Shout out to the entire Longhorn, that entire Longhorn team that got to participate in the combine, because it was great to see.
Yeah. First off, shout out to Jahdae Barron.
Oh,
He will be the first.
I mean, that was the obvious standout. He will probably be the first to
Mm.
go.
He'll
Yeah.
be the first ever Conley Cougar to be drafted in the top 15 of the NFL.
Oh, well, congratulations to that.
Finally, we can enter our names in infamy as alumni of the school to be top.
Wait. No, y'all have never had anybody get drafted?
Out of the top 15.
Have you ever had anybody go to the NFL in general?
I'd have to look.
Okay.
I don't know because so from 04 to 09, which is the time period I'm the most familiar with, some really good guys.
Mhm.
Like we had a guy that played at Iowa State.
Okay.
Darius Starks played at Iowa State.
Okay.
Receiver. I don't know if Darius ever made an NFL roster.
Okay.
We've had a couple guys-
y'all definitely had some big time college football players for sure.
We've had good college football players.
Yeah.
We've had some guys play at Texas State. We've had some guys play at, obviously, like I just said, Iowa State. But nobody like, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that has made an NFL. Forget an NFL roster, right? Yeah, be top 15, yet alone just make an NFL roster. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's that. Like that to me gets me even more excited. And imagine he becomes a cult like that. Listen, at 14 right now, and I talked about this last week.
Yeah.
You know what? Johnny Barron's one of those guys. Like we could use a guy like Johnny Barron.
Right.
The dude runs a 4.39.
Looks
As
good,
a
man.
200-pound corner runs a 4.39.
Looks good, man.
That's who I want. I know he can play corner. I know he can play outside. I know he can play inside. I know he can slot out and play safety.
Yep.
I know his ability to move and change direction is elite. I've seen him do it multitude of times on the field,
Right.
and he looks really good off the field. So I think Johnny Barron, by far had the best combine.
Yeah, man.
Second best. I thought
Yeah.
when you
Jade was definitely a standout, man. Jade was definitely one of those guys where we kind of knew, again, being fans, we know what we're seeing, and we know that would translate over into the combine. So to be able to see it just on display, it's something magical. And again, like you said, man, like that would be the first alumni to be drafted in the first round and possibly go to a team that's either on the rise or a contender. That instills a sense of pride, man, and hopefully that inspires other kids that are currently at Conley to be like, listen, man, like you can do this. You know, I always harp and I always talk about it in recruiting, and whenever we talk about big time recruits and stuff like that, there's a lot of talent in this city that just doesn't get the same recognition as these other powerhouse cities like Dallas and Houston, where they've got these large amount of kids and they're all in one area. You know, that's Austin is just not like that. We have a lot of kids, especially African American kids, just to be completely blunt, that are just kind of spread out. There's so many schools within Austin itself, just alone. It's 11 schools in just Travis County alone. You know, you that's a lot. That's a lot of schools. So your talent is spread out. It's not necessarily like I think of like a Lufkin High School, right? Lufkin High School has Lufkin Middle School, Lufkin Elementary, Lufkin High School. They're always in the playoffs. They always got a multitude of talent in one school. They get to play against the top talent in the school. You know, LBJ has been the primary powerhouse of football in the city. So, you got other schools like Maynard and stuff, but they're not necessarily in AISD, Austin ISD. So again, shout out to him. I really hope that he's an inspiration because it's really, really good to see some homegrown talent, transition to the next level. Because we both think, and I think a lot of people think that Jade will be a star in the NFL for sure.
Yeah, and listen, Jade's one of those guys that last year he wasn't in this position. He was seen as a 4th round pick.
Right.
He decided to come back. He worked with uh, the secondary coaches, and he he was excellent this season. He was
Yeah.
excellent.
You know
And
who else? You know who else helped him out? Michael Huff.
a lot of guys helped him out. Michael
Yeah.
Huff helped him out. Blake Gideon helped him out. Terry Joseph helped him out. Like we saw the fruits of this secondary success because of the jump that Johnny made.
Yeah.
And another guy who we didn't talk about, Andrew Makuba. Andrew Makuba had such a good combine.
Yeah.
That all he did was run the 40. He's rated the second safety.
He didn't have to do anything.
He didn't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
And Andrew Makuba, again, another guy that is versatile. Like I get Nick Emenwari is just a physical, athletic freak.
Right.
But the thing that Andrew Makuba brings to the table that I don't even think Nick Emenwari brings is film. Like he has really good tape.
He's got a lot of tape. He did play at Clemson for a while. People forget he played at Clemson for what, 2 years? He played at Clemson.
3 years. He was at Clemson for 3 years.
3 years. That's a lot of tape, man. And you were a starter. You were All-American over there in the ACC. Listen, we understand what the SEC is and what it's all about, but you can still stand out on a Clemson team. They got people that gunning for them, just like people gun for Texas. They're one of the top teams at that time, especially when Makuba got there. They were one of the premier teams that was poised to go to a national championship, and it's not like they fell off. They were still in the playoffs. So this is not a team. These are not scrub teams that these kids are playing against, and these where they're transferring from. Look, Bolden did not run great. Isaiah Bond did not run great. He said that he would break Xavier Worthy's combine record. Didn't necessarily happen. 4.4 is still fast. 4.4 is still very fast.
Yeah.
It's just not elite speed. There's elite speed, and then there's fast. Bond is fast. He doesn't have elite speed like an Xavier Worthy. And that's okay. We've seen multiple guys. We've seen a lot of these guys out here. They didn't have elite speed, and they are still very, very good wide receivers. They're still very, very good key players in the league. They're still very, very good, and they're competing on a high level, and they're getting high pay. They're getting high money, bro.
The problem with Isaiah Bond is the promises that he made.
He did make that promise. He did.
I think, and you could argue the same thing with Jaden Blue. Like both guys were like, man, I should be running 4.1. Like, do you understand what that really means? Like,
again, we know what's going to happen within the next couple weeks. They get an opportunity to redeem themselves.
Yeah.
At the pro days, they're going to have an opportunity to believe. They'll be on their own turf. They'll be in a bubble. They're going to be tons of scouts in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that Arch is going to be in there throwing. Okay, I know Quinn is going to be there, but
like they don't need Arch to throw.
I'm just an extra. They got the extra arm. They're going to want to see the extra arm. So he will definitely be in there. I definitely believe. We know that Quinn will be, and Quinn did very well as well. We can't sit up here and not overlook him as well. He threw very well.
I thought Quinn. JD. The camera is right here. Let me look at the camera. The reason why I don't look at the camera is because I have to look at the screen, which is offset. So that's why I can't look at the camera. But I'm looking at it right now, and I'm telling you, that's why I'm not. I'm actually looking at Tim, but I'm looking at.
Yeah, he's got a multi-monitor setup.
Yeah, I've got a multi-monitor setup, but I'm definitely listening. And I'm also listening and viewing your comments. I appreciate it. But wow, I was really interrupted. I lost my train of thought, man.
You were mentioning
And
Quinn.
I thought Quinn Ewers was the best quarterback on Saturday.
Oh, that's a hot take. Now, I do like what I do like the fact that Quinn has gotten some attention. There was some stuff that you sent me over the weekend that really raised my eyebrows. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that they felt like this before."
Yeah.
About with Quinn throwing and doing the things that he was doing, and again, he looked very good.
Yeah.
He's really pushed himself into a situation where he could be an early second round, a late first round, depending on the situation. I could definitely see somebody trading up that late first round, giving somebody an extra pick to fall out, and somebody coming up to get him. So he's definitely done some things. I don't like it at the big name. I don't like what they've done to Shedeur. I don't think it's fair. He did say some controversial things, but you should have a quarterback. You should want a quarterback that's like he's got to be confident. You don't want a quarterback that's just kind of like, I just want to. You don't want that because at the end of the day, like if you're down 8 or 10 in the fourth quarter, you want somebody that can go out there with some confidence. You don't see. Did we not see what Lamar Jackson did? What Lamar Jackson said to those people? I'm not a running back. I'm a quarterback.
Let me ask you an honest question though.
What?
Based on what you've seen, and I guess you could throw like the teams around them. If there was a guy that you needed in big moments to make plays for you today, would you pick Shedeur or would you pick Quinn? Assuming they're both 100% healthy.
If they're 100%, I'm picking Quinn. The only reason why I'm picking Quinn is because Quinn does not hold the ball as long as Shedeur does. Shedeur does hold the ball for a long period of time, but we also got to look at the situations that Shedeur and Quinn are in. Quinn has had a hell of an offensive line. All of those guys are going to get drafted. Every single one, with maybe the exception of one. And who's to say that he won't be an undrafted free agent?
Right.
Outside of that, Shedeur has not had that line. He has had
that's what I'm saying. I can agree with that.
A garbage pail of a line.
But
he should still
be
being
said,
I agree with that wide receiver.
Yeah. Huh?
I don't think Shedeur has had the same talent at wide receiver as Quinn either.
I don't think he's had the same talent 1 through 4 as Quinn. Again, I'm not disagreeing.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All right.
The same token, right? I've seen Quinn make some really, really good throws on 100% that I haven't seen Shedeur
make. I could say that about Shedeur that I haven't seen Quinn make.
Can you?
Yes. Shedeur
in critical situations. Can you?
Listen, yes. There is, I think about the play against Nebraska. They were down. They needed a 2-point
Taylor throw.
He put a ball in a place where a lot of quarterbacks cannot do that, bro. A lot of quarterbacks cannot do that. The play where he escapes on the pocket, throws on his back foot to Travis. Now Travis does go up and get the ball, but for him to put that ball away from Travis to where Travis has to jump to go and get it, where he's the only person to go and get it. Quinn ain't doing that, bro. That's not what Quinn does. But
that's not his game.
That's not his game. But that is impressive. The fact that the way, and I get on Quinn about this all the time. There have been some moments, some key moments where Quinn has put the ball in a spot that is really, really dangerous for the wide receiver to try to go and get it. They don't.
I can say the same, you can say the same thing about Shador, though.
You can say the same thing about Shador, but that's not what Shador's thing is. That has been my thing with Quinn. You know, this has been my thing with Quinn for years. Is that sometimes the velocity on the ball is not there. That we do not have to worry about with Shador.
The only reason why I put Shador over Quinn is because of health.
Because of what?
Health. That's literally like if I were to compare apples to apples.
That's a lot of it, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Shador has had the ability to grow his profile or his consistency because he's been healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Healthy in the regards that he's played more consistently. Like Shador's not missing 5, 6, 7 games a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Quinn's this, and I've said this before, I think there's the stunting of Quinn's growth for the fact that he hasn't really played. If Quinn was fully healthy, like he said it himself, I played 2 games healthy this year. If Quinn plays a fully healthy season, we're not having this conversation. I think Quinn probably wins the Heisman. He's the best quarterback in the nation, and he's probably like a top 5 pick. Because I think like a healthy Quinn is that good.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the reporting, listen, we said last week, Quinn's gonna like as soon as the report came out that he was a healthy, like he was 100%, we said he's going to test very well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he
can do. He definitely put his arm on display. And I expect him to do more at the pro day. I'm really looking forward to the pro day. I don't know if they're gonna. Are they gonna? Is that gonna be televised? I don't know if it's televised.
No, we don't have a Longhorn Network anymore. I guess there's a Longhorn Network app. I don't know if it gets. We'll find out. I don't know where.
Yeah. I don't know if it is.
I'm sure NFL Network will have it on, right? No, I'm sure they'll have it on.
Yeah, as soon as we find out more information, we'll definitely put it on the socials for everybody to know. So, and if there's some clips that we could put up, we'll definitely try to get those up. I was seeing a lot of people getting hit with copyright bans and stuff. So even though they were going kind of crazy, didn't want those strikes on the channel. You got to kind of be selective with that stuff. You don't want to just flood your TikTok account with a bunch of NFL stuff because they get pretty down and dirty. Yeah. So anyway,
2 other call outs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to Gunnar Helm. I think Gunnar Helm, I don't care what his 40 time is. I think Gunnar Helm to me is probably going to go up in the draft.
I think so too. Just the fact that he finished out. Yeah. He finished.
And that was disgusting.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Yeah, his ankle looked terrible. His ankle looked real bad.
I don't know if they said what grade it was, but that was nasty.
That looked like a 3rd degree. It was very high up on his ankle.
That looked bad.
I don't with the way that ankle looked, I don't see him participating in
the pro day. Yeah, I think
the pro day. It looked real bad.
And then finally, did you know Barron Sorrell?
Barron Sorrell looked good too.
One of the best one of the best combines of a defensive end of all time.
Yeah.
I did not like his raw score was a 9.27.
It's very good.
He was basically green across the board. The only thing that was a red was his weight, which is something you can put on, right?
You can, he's light for defensive.
But his splits or his official times ranked 133 out of 1,820 from 1987 until this year.
That's really good.
So since 1987, there have been 1,820 combines, defensive ends that have attended the combine. His athletic score ranked 133 of all time.
That's really, really good.
That's insane.
That's
really
like
the top. That's like the top 1%.
Yeah.
So I think he probably made the biggest jump Yeah, this class, these guys really showed out. There's currently
Yep.
2 guys that are projected in the top 15
Yep.
of the draft.
I would not be surprised if we see at least between 4 and 7 within the first 100 picks.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
You'll get Judd and you'll get Matthew in the first 15 picks. I think those 2 go in the first 15. You might get somebody to sneak up into the first round, but I think you get 3 or 4 guys in the second.
Yeah.
Right, that puts you at what, 5, 6,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll get some guys in the third, and then the rest of those guys, look, they'll go do what Texas guys do, and they just go make rosters because they're good football players.
Yep.
But we'll continue to track the NFL draft journey. But let's really quickly talk about the state of Texas basketball. The women's obviously lose. You know, they get a share of the Big 12 of the SEC title, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in that, they also lose the coin toss to be the number 1 seed in the SEC title game,
which I think they got shafted on. If you share, okay, and I'm gonna make this very, very quick. If you share, just so you guys know, Texas beat the brakes off of Florida last week. Like, I don't even think they got past 60. Florida definitely didn't get past 60, I don't believe. If they did, it was barely. Texas, they show off in dominant fashion. They win the SEC. South Carolina also took care of business. They won. Texas played South Carolina. Texas beat South Carolina, but they share the SEC championship. I have no problem with that. If you want to share the SEC championship, that's fine. However, when it comes to a number 1 seed, if that person, even if y'all have the same record, if the last time you faced off in the same season, you beat that SEC co-champion, you should be the number 1 seed. I don't understand why that came to a flip toss, like a coin flip. I was
every tiebreaker was a tie.
I get it, but I'm saying if there's co-champions and I beat that co-champion in that year,
they beat each other though.
Who's the last game play should matter. It should.
Here's where I disagree with you.
Okay.
Texas beat South Carolina at home.
Yep.
What do they win by, like 8?
Yeah.
South Carolina beat Texas at home by 30.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I'm only the only reason why I mention that is because college basketball is a what have you done for me lately attraction. It that is exactly, we talk about what if Texas is even going to make the tournament on a weekly basis based off of what they've done in the past. So if they're going off that criteria, which again I completely understand, what have you done for me lately? The last time that they played, Texas beat them, and that's the only reason why
that's not how tournament standings work.
I know that's not how tournament standings work. I'm very much aware of it. I just thought it was a weird situation where you had to rely on a coin flip for seeding is insane.
Well, I mean, again, that's why, but it's not like coin flip's like the 3rd or 4th thing that they do, right? Like coin flip was like the 7th thing that they do. Like that's how close these 2 teams are.
Yeah.
So it's not like they wanted to do a coin flip. It's like they didn't have any other options.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just one of those things where it's like, damn, I lost a 50-50 bet. Like it just sucks, right?
Yeah, it does.
If it was the other way around, South Carolina would have the same argument. It's like, dude, I've run this conference for 4 years. I'm a back-to-back national champion. I've won 70 games in a row, and I lose the conference tournament number 1 seed on a coin flip. I mean, they'd have the same argument. So, listen, actually, to be honest, looking at the bracket, I think Texas has a much easier path to the final than South Carolina does.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm way more interested with the star power of women's college basketball than
Yeah.
I am of the men's.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we're gonna talk about the men's team here in a second, but the and again, this is before Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. This is before y'all started caring about basketball and the Great White Hope and all that good stuff. Even prior to that, women's college basketball has always had stars that were able to stick around. We look at Diana Taurasi. We could look at Candace Parker. There's a number of like
Lobo. There's so many.
Rebecca Lobo, Asia Wilson, the twins, I forget what their names are. They're
From
so
Stanford.
yeah.
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 Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
The girl from Notre Dame.
Yeah. It's so many stars.
Yeah.
And again, this is prior to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I think they took it to another level. Of course,
Yes,
they took it to another level. But women's college basketball has always had more stars because they stay longer. They have to. Now with the NFL, now with NIL for women's college sports, we might see them stay for more years. We might see them stay all 4 years because clearly they're going to be making more money in college than they are going to be in the pros. Because that's the argument right now, is that the women don't make money, and that is true. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother story. We're not going to get into that, but it is true. Right now, I don't even know how much money. I could only imagine how much money Juju Watkins is making right now.
Insane. Probably a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably one of the best paid. She's probably one of the highest paid.
You know what I'm saying? Like
on campus.
Like literally, probably on campus, like football and basketball together. Yeah. She's probably one of the highest paid NIL deals, and she's worked it. She's doing the and they got what, another year with her? Possibly she could come back another year.
Yeah.
Why would she want to go to the WNBA?
Yeah.
Why? What's the point? She can stay in college, get her degree, get money. She's gonna get top bill. Like, come on. And she gets to participate in the most, I think I would say the second largest sporting event in our country.
Yep.
I would say the Super Bowl is number 1. March Madness is number 2.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's just that. Again, we're in a good seed. We got a good opportunity. I don't like how it turned out with the whole seeding thing and the coin flip thing. But hey, we could not be in this situation. We only got 2 losses on the season. We got defensive player of the year candidates and player of the year candidates and all types of stuff. Our team is loaded. They play defense and they shoot well. And they beat top teams. They beat these juggernaut teams that people love. People love South Carolina.
They actually match up really well with a lot of these teams. Like match up well with LSU. They match up well with South Carolina. I don't think Kentucky is a team that, I'm not saying Kentucky's bad,
right?
But I'm not. This team plays really, really good defense, and that's what you need this time of year. You need great guard play.
Absolutely.
Great defense. And Texas has both of those things. Well, the women's team has both of those things.
Right.
So they'll play Ole Miss tomorrow, 5:00. Ole Miss, of course, beats Mississippi State today. I've never seen either of those teams play, so I don't really know anything about them. But you make it all the way through the SEC tournament, you win the SEC tournament, you get the number 1 overall seed. And guess what? Everything comes through Austin regardless, right?
Yep.
I think they've secured a top 4 seed at this point. So everything will come through Austin on the way to the Elite 8 for Texas, which is really, really good. Last year they had to go. I think they had everything came through Austin, and I think the Elite 8 they played. I I don't remember where they played, but it was close to NC State, right?
Right.
They won't have that problem this year. They'll
Yeah.
probably play like Dallas or Houston.
Yeah. Hopefully
Which one?
they're in the Dallas. You know.
Switching gears. So good luck to the women. Let's talk about the piss stain of the athletic program. Texas men's basketball team. Listen, man, all you gotta do is win 3 games and beat the worst team in the conference. So what does Texas basketball do? They get blown out.
They get blown out
At home by Georgia. They lose that game by 16 points.
They let Arkansas just run them stupid.
Well, this is Arkansas,
They
right?
gave literally Arkansas everything that they possibly could. And Arkansas they just like, and Arkansas is one of the lower teams in the SEC. And like they did not do well. I don't.
Yeah.
And Trey, he puts so. I kind of feel bad for him.
I feel so bad for
He
Trey.
puts up 35, 39. You're like, this screw
40.
40
Yeah.
points. Oh, Trey's doing so great. He's doing blah, blah, blah. He's got 7 assists in 1 half. And
Takes the leap that we thought that we were hoping he was going to take. And the rest of the
My
team.
God.
Bad.
My God. You can't get a solid number 2. Give that kid a break. He can't take a break.
Yeah. The dude's playing nearly 40 minutes a night.
He can't take a break. It's unfortunate. I hate it for him. I don't know what Rodney Terry's doing. I have no idea. I don't like.
I don't think Rodney Terry knows what Rodney Terry is doing.
Rodney Terry. Listen, we talked about it last year. It was a big deal. They were like, "Oh, well, Rodney Terry getting all this, even though he didn't do well or he didn't have a great season, he's still getting all these top recruits. All of this. It's not transit. It's not what's on paper is not showing up on the court. Outside of Trey, it really ain't transitioning over. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's you don't know situational ball. Listen, I'm no coach. I'm not a basketball savant, but there's some things that I could clearly see that I think because I have common sense, I'm like, oh, y'all probably shouldn't be jacking up so many shots. Y'all can't hit the back of a barn. Let's get.
Oh, maybe your center does need to, play a little bit of defense and guard the paint.
Yeah. Oh, y'all getting rebounds? How about you make pass and not have 10 turnovers in a half? You can't win like that. You can't, bro. The game that sticks out to me, and again, I'm talking about it because I've watched multiple games, but this game in particular, I just did not understand. That Arkansas game, that second Arkansas game, by the way, how do you let that team do you like that? How do you let
both Arkansas games?
Well, yeah. Well, both Arkansas games, well, yeah, for sure. But that second one, it got close. And then they let it go. And I'm like, bro, how are you making stupid passes? You're making turnovers. You're committing petty fouls. Like, that it's a rivalry game. It doesn't take much to just pull away from your opponent. Because we've seen Texas do it.
Yeah.
The Texas-Tennessee game, even though it wasn't that great of a game at the end, the fact that they were still keeping up in like the first half was significant. I was okay. But then the second half, you're like, bro, what
are we doing? Yeah. The Texas Ole Miss game.
Oh my God.
How many?
Oh,
That game was frustrating. How many turnovers do you think Texas had? How many turnovers do you think Texas had?
15,
11. How many do you think Ole Miss had that game?
6.
4. And they scored off those 11 turnovers Texas had. Ole Miss scored 13 points. You lose that game by 3. Like literally turning the ball over. Turning the ball over is costing you game. They were Texas was 12 for 14 from the free throw line. And then also, why are we shooting 22 threes when we have nobody that can shoot a 3?
We cannot shoot threes, bro.
This is not a 3-point shooting team.
Just not built.
It hasn't been for a long time.
We're just not built like that.
Yeah. Part of me, I hope we lose to Oklahoma on Saturday.
We won't. We'll win. We'll win
because Oklahoma's terrible.
We'll win that game. We'll get put in a bracket that we're not gonna like. You know what? You'll
play Oklahoma again regardless because they're 2 of the worst teams in the conference.
I don't want to play. I don't want them to. I don't want Texas going to the big dance. I don't. I want them to go to the NIT.
I don't want them to go there either. Like, I really don't want them to go there either.
I want them to go to the NIT. Go play some rinky-dink teams and feel good about yourself and get a participation trophy. Go do that.
I want to be put out of misery. And rumor has it that there is a coaching search that has started in the background.
Yeah.
Which should be the case, right? But it also goes back to what is the fan base's expectation? And we talked a little bit about this for the Texas basketball program. And the way I see this, I don't even think it's like Sweet 16s at this point. Like, I think you have to take steps back and you have to say, this program hasn't even been mediocre for a long time.
What's so frustrating about this? The frustrating thing about this, I'm going to rattle off what I believe is the last 4 opponents. Double check this for me. They beat Kentucky. I remember this because it was a big deal. They had a 3-game losing streak against Kentucky. Then I believe it was South Carolina. Maroon and black, South Carolina. Maroon and black, South Carolina. Then they played Arkansas. They lost to Arkansas in overtime. They got dog walked by Georgia and then beat Mississippi State. What?
You beat 2 top 25 teams in that span, and then you lost all the bad ones. What are we doing?
I know we said this is supposed to be a short show. What are we exactly? What are we doing? What are we doing?
We beat number 13 A&M, number 15 Kentucky, number 25 Mississippi State.
Right? Kept up with the number 1 team in the nation at the time, a Tennessee team. We lost by 4 points. We could have won the game. We could have won
by 5. What are you doing? What is this program doing?
Guys, and for y'all that love basketball, this is why it's hard for me. It's very hard for me to get behind Rodney Terry. I don't like calling for coaches to lose their jobs because it's hard to get jobs out here, especially in the coaching realm. Do I think Rodney Terry will get another job? Absolutely. Do I think he will get another job as a starting 5 at a Power 5 conference? No. But will he be able to get another job? Yes. It just won't be a Texas or an Arkansas. Bro, he'll get another job. It won't be, again, it might be at FIU. It's not gonna be a SEC team. He might even get he ain't getting no ACC job. He will get he might get an American level job.
Okay, maybe.
So it's hard to get behind it. And again, it's just like the football year. It's hard to talk about. You don't want to talk about it. And I understand like we owe it to y'all to talk about it because this is what we've set as the expectation. But what they're giving us and what they're telling us what the expectation is not aligning. And it's not like it's not like they're do you remember that one year that I can't remember if it was the Colts or if it was the Lions, and they went like 5-11, but every score was by 3 points. Do you remember that team? Was it the Colts or was it the Lions? I think it was the Lions a couple of years ago. I think this is when they
was it Dan Campbell year one?
It might have been. It might have been Dan
It was
Campbell.
like we're like right there.
They literally lost every single game by like 3 points. And you're like, dang, their record says that they suck. But if you go and look, they may not want they maybe not get a holding penalty or maybe not get a defensive pass interference or anything like that. Like
slightest margins.
You could see the trajectory very early. It's just that you needed to clean it up and become a more mature team. We don't know what this Texas team is. There's no maturity. There has not been anything. It's literally been, again, the ebbs and flows. It's up and down. There's no way you should be getting dog walked by Georgia, but beating the Mississippi State team in overtime. That doesn't make sense. It shows that you're not disciplined. It shows that your coaching situations, coaching in certain situations is not working. You're not reaching these kids. You've got an older team. These
are all seniors.
The last couple of years, we were like, man, like you got a young team. You know, that's out the window. That's out the window. And it's going to cost Rodney Terry his job. I don't know. Again, I said this last week. I don't know if I said this on air or off air. You need to take a blank check. Chris Del Conte needs to go to Ole Miss, and he needs to talk to Chris Beard again.
He's got to do something. I don't know if it's not Chris Beard. It's one of these top guys. Nate Oates, Chris Beard. One of these top guys.
You've got to do something. You've got to revitalize this team. You've got to revitalize the program.
Yeah.
You've got to get
worst program on campus by a long shot.
It's literally like you said earlier, it's literally the worst spot in all of the athletic sports. Tennis wins. Soccer team, they win. If I'm not mistaken, the soccer team won the SEC in the women's division. Gymnastics, I don't think Texas has gymnastics. I'm so sorry. Swimming, Texas is dominant.
Yep.
Women's basketball, they've been on the up and up, and they had some down years, but for the last, I would say 6 or 7 years, they've been on the up and up.
Yeah,
they've been on the up and up. Football, the last 3 to 4 years has been on the up and up.
Baseball literally made one coaching change,
and they're on a 10-game win streak
in 8 months.
Now, to be fair, they did swing for the fences because that was a big deal to go get sloshed.
Well, that's the point. You got to swing for the fences.
You gotta do this in basketball. We can't, bro. There's no reason why Moody Center tickets should be $25. If you listen, I understand it's hard times right now. If people that live in the Austin area, if y'all want to have a good time, you want to get out the house, you want to get the kids out the house, maybe a spring break. I don't know if Texas has any more games remaining here in the city.
Game, I think Saturday.
If you don't have anything to do Saturday, I guarantee you those tickets at Moody Center will not be more than $50.
Yeah, they're dirt cheap. $29.
Listen, look at that. $29. Listen, go pay the $29. Get you and your family, go in, have a good time, get you some popcorn. The popcorn's actually fairly cheap in there from what I've been told. Go in there, get you some popcorn, get you something to drink, and just go. If you haven't seen the new stadium, go enjoy the new stadium.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw. Listen, do I believe the Longhorns are going to make the tournament? Yes. Do I want them in the tournament? No. They don't deserve it.
You think so? I don't think they make the tournament, dude.
They make the tournament because of the wins that they do have. They do have some very impressive wins. Cannot lie against that.
Yeah, but it's also like how much do your bad losses outweigh your good wins? Because right now they're projected to be out.
They are projected to be out, but
So you're gonna have to win like a couple of tournament games.
This is the thing that I don't like about Texas. We are not counting them to win at all. We don't think we don't expect them to win the SEC at all. Watch them mess around and win 4 SEC tournament games. Put themselves in a situation where they can win the SEC and get blown out. Get just the doors blown off of them. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to bring them in. That's going to be able to get them in. I do not expect Texas to blow the doors off of any of these teams that they're getting ready to play here. I think that they can beat Oklahoma, and just depending on it, and let something work in Texas's favor just once, and they're going to be in a championship. Yeah. Granted, the SEC is heavy. You got Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee's in there. You got Auburn. You got a gauntlet. But I feel like if they were to get into the tournament, this is how they get into the tournament.
Yeah.
Is by doing some stupid stuff like winning most of your SEC tournament games and then getting dog walked in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Because Florida and Auburn played each other and Florida lost on a buzzer beater or Auburn lost on a buzzer beater.
Yep.
Bruce Campbell?
What happens? I mean,
Bruce Campbell? He in Auburn?
Yeah, Bruce Pearl. Yeah.
Bruce Pearl, sorry.
Yeah, he's at Auburn.
Check. Hey, listen, Alabama is cool and all, but we got a whole state over here that can be yours. If you just come over here and do what you're doing here, you could really, really get all of the best players in this state if you win over here.
Let me ask you something. Would CDC consider asking Rick Barnes to come back?
No. I don't think Rick wants to be there.
Okay. That's the other piece, right?
It's very clear that Rick is fine where he's at.
Yeah, go Bruce Pearl, Bruce Pearl, Auburn, Nate Oates, Alabama. Like,
mind you, Bruce Pearl got chased out of Tennessee.
Yeah. For Rick Barnes.
Bro.
That's great. And they're both diving. Look, it worked out for both of them at the end of the dude. Auburn is the #1 team of the nation. Auburn. I don't remember Auburn basketball being good since Charles Barkley was there. Imagine what he could do at Texas in the state of Texas. But,
man,
we'll see what happens with Texas basketball. They will play Saturday, and then if whatever happens from there, the men's tournament starts Wednesday. Women's play tomorrow at 5 p.m. And we are playing to get out of here at this point. But real quick shout out before we leave.
Slosh, way to turn it around, bro.
Thank you,
Way
Schloss.
to turn it around.
10 in a row. The bats have come alive, which is what we've expected. And the pitching has matched the bats. Impressive. Over the weekend, Las Vegas Classic, 10-9. That was that's pitching that helped them win that game, right?
Yep.
You beat Washington despite 6 runs in the 7th. So you outlast them. You blow out Tech 10-5 on Saturday.
Yep.
And then Sunday come in and throttle Illinois, right?
Yep.
Take care of business. Undefeated.
They won by 4, right? Against Illinois?
Sunday? No, they won by like 10, 15-6.
Okay. I just remember one of those games they won by 4. I could be thinking of I could be getting my weekends mixed up.
They beat Tech by 5.
Okay. I could be getting my weekends mixed up.
But every day last weekend you win by double. You scored double digits. They scored
awesome.
at least 10 in the last 4 games.
That's awesome.
And then Tuesday you run roll A&M Corpus Christi.
You know what this reminds me of? The old Texas baseball team of old.
You know what it reminds me of? Good coaching matters. David Pierce was Rodney Terry.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what? And guess who else is Rodney Terry? Michael Ealy over there in College Station.
Yeah.
They're 6-5.
That's
the number one team in the nation.
Yeah.
They're now 6-5. If I'm not mistaken, they are now 6-5. They went from the national title, a couple out from winning the national title to being 6-5.
Yeah. Just that quick.
That's how quickly things can change.
Yeah.
Or sorry, they're now 7-5. So they must have won like next year. They must have been like directional state university. But yeah, quick shout out to them. They will have a weekend series against Santa Clara this weekend.
Yep.
UT Arlington on Tuesday. Here we go. It's time to party.
Yeah.
SEC play starts.
Yeah.
Next 10 days, 9 days. So we'll keep track of that. We'll obviously continue to monitor how Texas baseball does. But we've got to get out of here. We promised a short show. I promised Tim a short show, and it's almost 10:15. So let's get out of here. Tim, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Tim Wayne on Twitter. You can find me at the Longhorn Fan Battle. Listen, my man over here usually does more of the trash talking. Again, if you want to talk about something else on the side or something that stuck out, maybe a play that stuck out, maybe I don't know, maybe you want to talk about shoes on the court or something like that, feel free to hit me up. Like I said, at Tim Wayne or at Longhorn Fan Battle. I try to tag my name in when I make a post so that you understand the difference between me and Harish. Again, shout out to our TikTok followers. Our TikTok followers have been very, very dope and very engaging. We appreciate that. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube. Of course, make sure that you visit Fan Battle Sports for all your needs, podcast needs. If you want to continue to follow us, that's great. We really appreciate it. But there's other podcasts there that could suit your needs. So again, we appreciate we appreciate y'all's loyalty. Shout out to the people that came in on a late night. Appreciate that. And yeah, we look forward to giving you more. We got, from what my man's been working behind the scenes, he's got a kind of a heavy lineup here between now and the NFL draft here. Again, we got the pin. We got the pin coming back here to give us some NIL news. Mike Brown, so shout out to him. Hopefully we have him on pretty soon. Of course, we got other guys. We got some guys we're trying to get from other networks. We appreciate them. These are our Longhorn brethren here. You know, we don't look at these guys as competition. We're a community. We're a large community, and we want to grow that community as large as possible. So, again, shout out to y'all for sticking with us late. And we'll see you guys when we see you. Harish, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at the Uncle Gandhi again. Hopefully, over the next 6 weeks or so, we get some folks on here that we've been trying to get on. And yeah, at LH Fan Battle, just doing our thing. But Tim, you got anything else to wrap up?
Nah, man.
All righty. Well, good luck to both men's and women's basketball over the next week. We will be back next Thursday. But between now and then.
Oh, I got one other thing. I got one more thing.
One more thing.
I want to give a special shout out. Michael Terry. Shout out to you following us, bro. Michael Terry
Michael Terry follows us?
Michael Terry follows us, bro.
Shout out Michael Terry.
Michael Terry III. We appreciate you following us, man. We appreciate it. Hopefully we can get more players to follow us, man. But Michael Terry, man, a standout 5-star recruit. He is going to be special on the 40 acres. He is going to be.
He follows us on Twitter?
Yeah, bro. You didn't notice that?
Bro, I told you, man, I've been busy.
Dog, me too, but he follows us, dog. Like, again, shout out to Michael Terry, man. We really do appreciate y'all, man. Again, we ain't much without y'all, so and we appreciate y'all support. And I really thankful for that. But yeah, outside of that, it's nice outside. Go touch some grass. Go get off the internet for like 30 minutes, or even if you're on the internet, go walk in some grass. Look for the dog poop, but go step on some grass, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out Michael Terry. I just saw it. Shout out to Michael Terry. And hey, we're excited for you, man. We cannot wait. So if you're checking us out, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. But between now and then, and the next time we see you guys, my name is Harish. That's my guy Tim Wayne. We out of here.
Peace. Till Gabriel.
Go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home.